Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next comment or question comes from Vertigo 10105. Do you know what? I don't know whether very many people remember this track, but there was a singer or a composer called Dan Hartman, and he did a song called Vertigo, which the dance, the 12-inch dance of Vertigo was about 12 minutes long, and it was a fantastic tune because you could drop so many things over the top of it, and I used to use it all the time. I don't know what, unfortunately I got rid of my record collection, but the 12-inch of Vertigo is brilliant. And of course there's the second section of Vertigo is Relight My Fire, which is the single that was released, and obviously the one that Take That did. But the actual track was called Vertigo, and it was brilliant. Anyway, I digress. This was in response to what is the Yamaha Montage MX8, a SMR I did in September 2023. And Vertigo writes, what have they added? Like many new things. What have they removed? Nothing. Well, that is yet to be proven, I have to be honest. It still says Montage as the name, so they've added new features but didn't remove anything. They have shifted some of the things around regarding buttons, screen, etc., and are likely with the onboard menus. So that editing and programming will be done utilising the new top left screen, as well as likely the main centre screen as well. By the way, I guess you missed the leaked photos that someone took during Teams or a Zoom session that show a pic of all three sizes, the 6, the 7 and the 8, and the top left screens that have data images on them with buttons lit up. AI, so you must have missed that there was another leak on a one country's warranties registration page where they showed the MX8, the M7 and the M6. The 6 and 7 didn't have an X. Well, we now know the reason why they didn't have an X. Along with the same Genius 2, which is another keyboard that obviously is coming to market very soon. I don't think the theory about the X being like Korg's X is the same. Well, I know that is incorrect as well. As Korg's was an uppercase X and Yamaha's is lowercase. It's got nothing to do with uppercase and lowercase, by the way. It's all to do with the keyboard. The X stands for the GEX keyboard. And that's the reason why only the Montage M8 has an X by it. Check out YamahaMusicians.com Montage forum for additional pics, leaks, etc. Now, I agree that there are probably a number of new features added to this synth. There has to be. You don't go moving things around like this if you're not going to add more features to the synth. And I have done a video after this that actually discusses some of the features that have been talked about in terms of what has been released. So, we do know what has been added to the synth. There have been some things that have been quietly taken away, but they haven't really been talked about. But there have been a couple of modifications because of the way that the new features have been implemented. Now, the colour pictures that are posted on the Yamaha social media channels start to expand on the screen, the second screen, and adds to the experience. And again, we now know what the second screen does because the influencer videos have started flowing through YouTube. So I'm not going to kind of discuss that. Now, in the picture you referred to, the 8 key version on the synth did not have the M8X moniker on it. So I wasn't sure if that was a pre-production or a mock-up and chose not to share it on that basis. So I couldn't verify I could verify the source of the M8X very clear pictures, but the one that's been referred to is very blurred, and it was very difficult to verify whether this was something that had come from a Yamaha source or something that somebody had mocked up. So I chose at that point not to publish it, because I wasn't sure whether it was or not. There's people out there who would just publish this stuff and say and be damned with it, but that's not me. So that's the reason why I didn't do it. Now, when I wrote this, Yamaha was just starting to ramp up the interest on the new synth platform, and new colour pictures were starting to appear on the social feed. We also know that it has now been launched. It was launched about 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. On the 10th of October, the new synth was officially launched. Although, having said that, I think stock has only just started arriving in the UK this week. So I've seen people getting their new montages. Francis, Mr. Kronos in Australia, has got his. There's a couple other people who got that. Matt Johnson from Jamaica, he's got his. But I think stock in the UK is still pretty limited at the moment, and will be for a few weeks as the machine starts to ramp up. But we do know what the M8X is now all about, and I've done a video on which version would I have if I could afford to have it, and it would be the M8X, because I wouldn't buy the other versions, but that's another personal preference. Next question comes from Poo Poppy, and this is in respect to listen to the classic sound cards of the Korg M1 video I did in August 2020. And Poo Poppy writes, I bought an M1 for about £200. It was a super bargain. That was a good price, I have to be honest. It's a pity these cards all sound so good. It's hard to choose. I think I will try the brass first. Many synths really struggle to replicate this sound. The ethnic and the percussion world music also on my wish list. Very helpful, great upload. Well, as always, thanks for the feedback. Yes, the M1 was the game changer. It really was. As had been the DX7 about 7 years earlier. And the the Roland D50 about 4 years earlier. The stock library cards gave the musician for a period a set of usable sounds with no requirement to actually program anything into the synthesizer, and thus saving the artist time and ultimately money. And let's remember that piano sound from the Korg M1 was used on God knows how many dance tunes during sort of the early 90s, and it can still be heard on tunes today, I would add. Brasses are good for filling in the soundscape on a track, and is a good one to hunt down. Remember to ensure, if you're going to go and buy a PCM card or a set of sound cards for the M1 or the T1 to that matter, that quite often, if it's the original Korg set, you need both cards. You can't buy one without the other. You need both cards, otherwise the PCM data is not available to the card. Just remember that.